filbert. This one has bristles because I'm going to dab these. Okay, so I'm going to decide where I want them to be. I'm going to put a few other flowers here, so maybe we'll have one. Okay, so this one will be facing out this way. And I'll have one maybe facing this way. So I'm going to darken my brown with a little black. We're going to highlight it later, but I'm just going to dab this in so it's a nice coverage and texture. There, we'll add to those afterwards. Okay, so now I'm going to do the petals. I have a few different colors of yellow. A little bit of crimson just because I might want a little touch here and there. So I'm not going to add any floating medium, it makes the paint transparent and I want nice solid colors. So if my brush gets gucked up, I'm going to clean it, dry it in water, dry it with a paper towel, and start fresh. Okay, so I'm going to make this my main color. I'm going to load my brush the same way as we did with the fern. Add a little bit of that on one corner, a little bit of that, and just let it blend in a little bit. Doesn't matter where. Okay, so you can either do this stroke out or in towards the flower. I think I'm going to go in towards. So you go very close, keeping in mind which way it's pointing. Go very close, but not touching. So you have a little room to move. Go that far away from your center. Keep your brush straight out. Push really hard and just slide it in a little and lift it. And you'll get used to it. After one or two petals, redo your brush the same way. A little on there, a little on there for a few variations of color. Okay. Same thing again, straight out. And I'm going to clean the excess off. You can even take that back if you want. Brush nice and sharp again. Little of that, little of that. And we're going to put our center back in, so don't worry about that. Continue to make your sunflower how you want it. So now we're going to do this one, and this one's kind of facing down. This one ended up kind of facing almost straight, almost kind of, I want to curl a little bit because I want it to be facing down. So I'm going to start off my end ones so I know which way I'm going. And curl them on there. Whoop, that's a little too much. I didn't mean to do that. And I'm going to put these ones behind on first. My brush is getting a little goopy, so I'm gonna wipe it off. I can pick that up if I want and use it. Highlight to it. And now these ones are going to kind of somehow come out in this way. So let's work on that. You got to visualize them. Where would they start? Where would they be? Where would they go? And then I'm thinking this is going to overlap a little bit here. We're going to go a little bit wrong, but I can put that back, so don't worry. We can fix it. Yeah, that's kind of pretty. Once we get this back, we'll fix the petals. I'm going to let that dry for a second. I'm going to fix this. So to fix that, I'm just going to lift the paint off. Just use my little filbert. Put that back in. Okay, so I'm going to mix a little crimson and brown. And I'm going to add some black, just dab a little black in the centers. That creates an indent. And you can wipe my brush off. Go into some brown, a little crimson, and some white. I'm going to dab most of it off with onto my palette. Because the light's coming from here, it's going to hit here, here. It's going to hit here and here. I'm just going to blend this a little bit. It's just a little too sharp. Tap a little bit away. That just softens it. Okay, so I want my flowers to look three-dimensional. So I'm going to add just a few little things in the background, very light. I'm going to put other things in front of them, but just to indicate there's something back there. And that'll have something else over it. This is going to be background after. Whoops. We'll have a flower here, and then that'll look like it's on the other side. Okay, so so I'm going to add a few purple daisies because the color goes nice with sunflowers. It's a small, flat brush. I'm going to put some purple on my brush and a little bit of white. Find a nice spot, and I want one up here so that that looks like it's behind. So it's the same thing. We want long, skinny strokes, so we don't want to push too hard. Figure out where your center is and then go around your center. They face different ways. I'll show you a few different ways to make them face different ways. This one I think I'm just going to bring in like kind of facing up. A little highlight. A few of the petals. I like that one. I'll have one up here facing up. So I'm going to curl in. You can see that. We'll put the stems on after. And I want a little closed bud there. Right here we'll put a little closed bud. It's just same stroke, but curl it in on itself. And we'll put some baby breath after, so we don't worry about the spaces, and a few leaves. If we were doing an arrangement of sunflowers, we probably wouldn't want any sunflower leaves because they're so big. So we'll do other leaves. So we'll fill it in with other leaves. A little. But it's behind, so I'm just going to see a hint of it. So they're like one's behind. Okay, and I want a little bit of one on the table. Okay, so for the stems of the sunflowers, we want fairly dark. And they're kind of back here. That one's probably kind of coming out like that. So we'll just indicate it in here. We'll have some other things over that. So. And this one's going like this. So for the stems and leaves of our purple daisies, I'm going to use the dark hooker green, some turquoise, make it kind of pretty colored, and then a little bit of yellow. Now there's two ways of doing it. We can either use a very sharp edge on a small flat brush. Now you don't want to go on top of the things that are in front. So for this one, he's going to be coming down here. Another way to do it is with a liner brush. That's a long pointy hair brush. And you can just start off at the flower. And this one we said was the back. So I'll make a little thing for it to come from. Don't forget it goes behind. So to use the liner brush, you want to water your paint down though, so that it'll roll off of it. I'm just putting a little yellow on the side where the light's hitting, down the stems. Pointy, I kind of make a little flat sharp edge, sort of like using a, and once this is dry you can lean on it. Here. Perfect. Using the turquoise, a little bit of dark green, some turquoise, put some yellow on the other side, get it sharp. And you just want to pull a few leaves in towards, now this one didn't have a stem, so we'll bring a leaf right in there. And just, however wide you want it, you push a little harder. It's the same pretty much as the petals, but we want a little more pressure. And again, put some yellow on one side for highlight. Make a little. Okay, now I'm going to put my stems for my baby breath. I want really dark green, so I took some darkest green I had and put some black in it. And you want to water it right down and use a liner brush. And I'm just going to jot in a few areas where I'm going to put baby breath. One I see would be here. And it could just come out from behind. I don't want to cover up something nice like that, so I'll try to keep my baby breath places like that. And you might want to follow this stem down where it doesn't need to go that far. And a good way to do this is to roll your liner brush in there, and it comes to a nice little point. If you think you got too much paint on, take it off, or use a very light touch. Take some off. Doing these, I'm keeping in mind areas like that I want to have show through. It's really pretty. And areas where it looks sort of maybe a little too see-through, like right here. Like a little bit more going on behind there. Oh. Put a few little dots. Brush around. I'm going to do some small dots, and these are going to be little misshaped. Actually, they're little tiny flowers, but in this arrangement, they're just going to show up as. And some are buds, some are open. Keep it close to the ends of where we put our. Close to the ends of where we put our little spots for it, our little stems. But you can, put a few here. Some of them are funny shapes, so that's exactly what you want.